The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. The StarCityGames.com Open Series comes to Philadelphia on June 5th and 6th, and this event is going to be huge. We're talking hundreds of players, $10,000 in cash prizes, and at least 8 players qualifying for the 2010 StarCityGames.com Invitational. Live coverage on the StarCityGames.com website, tons of side events, and as much Magic the Gathering as we can pack into one weekend. So make plans to join StarCityGames.com in Philly, and we'll see you there.
Hi, this is Chris Woltereck with the Deckbuilder's Toolbox. Welcome to the Magic Show.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of The Magic Show. This week we're doing things a little differently. I've got 2 copies of the incredibly cool new product, the Deckbuilder's Toolkit, direct from Wizards, and I wanted to do something cool with them, like build decks. So that's exactly what I've done. We've got the Pro Tour competitor and multiple StarCityGames Open winner Chris Woltereck on board, and together we're going to break apart this toolkit and see what we can build. Now in this episode you'll see us battle in 3 games and a few thoughts from Chris on his experience. In separate videos, which are a little bit longer, I'll show you the complete unboxing and deck building process for both myself and Chris. You ready to see some awesome toolkit action? Let's go! In Game 1, Chris begins with a duress after a few turns of draw go. I reveal Core Hookmaster, Sarah Angel, Core Sanctifiers, Totem Guide Hartebeest, Awakener Druid, Snake Umbra, and Nature Spiral. He chooses Nature Spiral. A few turns later, he drops Air Elemental. I play a Core Hookmaster, tapping it down for a turn. He follows Air Elemental with Living Tsunami, now with 2 4/4 flying monsters staring me down. On my turn, I play Awakener Druid, making a forest of mine a 4/5. He bashes me for 8, dropping me to 12, and plays Child of Night. I then play Hyena Umbra on my Awakener Druid, ensuring my 4/5 forest will be around a while, and attack with both the forest and druid for 6 damage, dropping him to 14. I then use my final 2 mana to play Pacifism on his Air Elemental. On his turn, he plays Halimar Depths, a card that is pretty ridiculous with Living Tsunami in play, but he bashes for 6, and I go to 6, and he goes up to 14 from Child of Night. On my turn, I play Sarah Angel and bash for 2 with Hookmaster, who dies via Urge to Feed. He then plays Rise from the Grave, targeting my Core Hookmaster, tapping down my Sarah Angel and bashing for 4 damage, dropping me to just 2 life. I draw no answers to the huge flyer across from me, and I scoop him up. For sideboarding, I realized that the Jace Dream was not to be, and the more streamlined I could be in my green-white aggro deck, the better. So I dropped the blue in the Colony Heart Expedition mana fixing to add the Giant Spider for his flyers, and Sylvan Bounty to let me win the race if we're attacking back and forth. Chris takes out a Quest for the Gravelord, Consume Spirit, Sign in Blood, and 2 Vampire Lacerators. For an unsummon, Into the Royal, Divination, and 2 Essence Scatter. In Game 2, I get things started with a Blinding Mage, while Chris once again duresses me. I show him Awakener Druid, Forest, Ondu Giant, Aura Gnarlid, Rocks Meditant, and Snake Umbra that he must choose and I discard. I play Awakener Druid and get in for a point with Blinding Mage, dropping him to 19. He plays Vampire Aristocrat and passes. I tap down his Aristocrat with my Blinding Mage and bash for 5 with the Awakener Druid and his Forest, taking him to 14. Chris plays Tidehollow Strix with a black permanent, so I go to 18 and he's back up to 16. I bash with just the Forest, dropping him to 12. He plays Living Tsunami and passes. I tap down the Tsunami and smash with a 4/5 Forest and the 2/4 Rocks Meditant. He double blocked my Meditant, and I killed the Aristocrat while he takes 4 and goes to 8. On my turn, I follow up that attack with a River Boa and pass. He then gets the Halimar Depths Living Tsunami combo going, while I bash with the 4/5 Forest and unblockable River Boa. He kills the Awakener Druid, rendering the Forest just a land again, and takes 2, going to 6. I play Ondu Giant, finding a forest, and pass the turn. On his turn, he plays Last Kiss on Blinding Mage and gains 2 life going to 8 and attacks for 2, dropping me to 16. On my turn, I play Mammoth Umbra on Riverboa, making him a 5/4 regenerating monster. I also play Avensquire and bash for 6 with my Riverboa. He takes 6 and goes to 2 life. He plays Gatekeeper of Malakir, and I sacrifice my Avensquire. On my turn, I bash with Riverboa, but with no islands he can be blocked by the Gatekeeper of Malakir. Afterwards I play an Aura Gnarlid and Giant Spider, and pass. He does nothing on his turn and passes. On my turn I bash with the team, and it's too much. He scoops him up when we're going to Game 3. For Game 3, Chris once again leads with duress. I show him Forest, Totem Armor Hartebeest, Forest, Rocks Meditant, 2 pacifisms, and Sylvan Bounty. He takes a pacifism. He then plays Gloom Hunter and passes. I respond with a Stormfront Pegasus and pass. He then attacks me to 18 with Gloom Hunter, draws 2 cards from Divination, and passes the turn. I then play Snake Umbra on my Stormfront Pegasus and attack for 3, dropping him to 17 and drawing a card. On his turn, he drops me to 16 via Gloom Hunter, and then mind controls my Stormfront Pegasus. Due to my mana problems, I am forced to basic land cycle my Sylvan Bounty for a Plains, and play Pacifism on my Stormfront Pegasus. He attacks me to 14, and plays Vampire Nighthawk. In order to stop the beats from the skies, I drop Giant Spider, and pass. He attacks with just the Nighthawk, and I go to 12 while he's at 19. On my turn, I play Totem Armor Hartebeest and fetch Mammoth Umbra and pass. He attacks with the Vampire Nighthawk again. I go to 10 while he's at 21. He plays Living Tsunami and passes. On my turn, I play the Mammoth Umbra on my Giant Spider. I attack with it only to see his unsummon from the sideboard wreck me completely. On his turn, he plays Seagate Oracle. Then the Halimar Depths he picked up from Living Tsunami before bashing for 8 damage, me now at 2 life and Chris at 23. While I rip my awesome Knight of the Reliquary, it's too little, too late. Chris wins the match.
It was just much more than I expected it to be. There was so many things that were just cool to play with. Like all the cards were very fun with it. You know, there's a couple cards that just you can't really play with unless you're like very specific. You know, I talked about like the Aura guy. If I have something a little bit more focused with the Totem Armors, he would be good. But there wasn't anything that I was missing. I got to play with 2010 cards, which are great and a lot of fun to play with. The cards are all current. You know, if you've drafted or played in the last couple months, all those are the same cards, so you're familiar with them too. There's a lot of mana fixing, so it made like my choice easy. I had 4 Terramorphic Expanses. I don't know if everyone gets 4 Terramorphic Expanses, but I had 4 Terramorphic Expanses, so it made my building. I could pretty much play any 2-color deck that I wanted to play. Yeah, I'm happy how my deck ended up. I built it more to beat a control deck because I had like Lacerators in the first game and cheaper creatures, but you know, you had a more aggressive deck. But I loved my deck. I had Doom Blades, I had 2 Mind Controls, I had a lot of creatures. The Halimar Depths and Living Tsunami worked. Oh, like every time, of course. I mean, there's only 1 and 1, but you know, one leads into the other. But I was surprised at how good that engine was, and I topped out at 5, so Tsunami was really good for me. I got around Riverboa. I didn't actually play a lot of removal spells, but I had a lot of them. Like I had like 2 Disfigures and 2 Doom Blades, some Marsh Casualties.
Wow.
You saw the Gatekeeper, so I had ways to kill every creature. There wasn't a creature that I couldn't kill. You know, I could kill a Chroma Angel of Wrath with my Gatekeeper. So I was really happy with that, to be able to. So I was going to be competitive versus any type of card. I actually, you know, I had my own I guess one of my impressions coming in that it was just going to be like a bunch of random cards that I just play with and just be like, okay. But like I rather like play again than do this interview. It's like so much fun. Like I want to do it again. I could see my roommates and I playing it, and you know, we're very competitive players, and this seems so much fun. It's just kind of like you just mix it up and go. They're really close. Like the product is really close to being like perfect, even for teams. Like you could play it at like a PTQ. I mean, 2-Headed Giant was a lot of fun, and this is this is similar. I could definitely see a 3-man team too, because that would utilize all the cards. Potentially you could do that, and maybe a couple more booster packs to diversify it. And I mean, I'm already thinking of some things. They don't have to make it a format. I'll do it on my own.
Special thanks for Chris for participating in this exercise, and I think you guys will be really happy with the Deckbuilder's Toolkit. I, for one, see it as a really exciting product for team drafters, for example, 3-on-3 using 2 toolkits per team, or as an excellent gift for your friends who just started playing. When you're ready to take the plunge, support the show and pre-order yours on StarCityGames.com today. Until next week, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
Always like the fatties.